What's going on? How are you? Larry Chang explains everything in 11 minutes. Just going to bullet point these because why? Our time is limited and you want to get a grip of everything that is going on. Politicians and government trying to ruin things. Is it due to incompetence or is it some conspiracy? As tightly as I can summarize the truth, which is wanting to ruin everything so that way the property and assets transfer. You would think that it appears to be completely transparent from everyone's seeing things in the open. And so certain leaders are trying to drive the system into a forced form of bankruptcy. The debt. Is the debt ever going to get paid off in the United States of America? The answer is it's actually impossible, which is why the money printing went crazy, which is why inflation rises. And is there going to be a reversal? Not anytime soon, but surprisingly, I had no idea that Trump was going to let Elon Musk do for the United States what he did to Twitter, which was become hyper efficient and becoming relentlessly resourceful. That's Doge, Doge. Inflation. There's pricing that's only going in one direction, up. Normally, in an economy, if the money weren't changing levels, it would be deflationary, where the government would print or when the government's in control of a certain amount of money, what happens is governments do what governments have done that aren't held accountable, which is print more money. And that's due to a series of mechanisms that all buy future votes, where the politician's not going to say, hey, I'm going to do the right thing for the country. We need to spend less money, because then somebody gets hurt, and the situation that the citizens face is this pattern, which, correct me if I'm wrong, which I'm not, because this room is called Larry Chang Explains Everything within 11 minutes. Central bank and treasury, those two organizations typically are at each other's throat, because we end up at odds where treasury is against the central bank and the central bank is fighting against treasury. That's the dynamic that you want if you're a citizen. Whenever central bank and treasury gets to merge, guess who gets screwed? The citizens. The citizens get screwed. And then what happens then? You don't just willy nilly pick a moderator. You show value prior to gaining power. Whereas, how many people are two faced that we give power to, right? And then when that happens, the citizens get screwed again. secret war on the middle class. In America, there is an openly waged war on the middle class because it's socialism at the top and socialism at the bottom. That's the secret war on the middle class, where it's rugged capitalism in the middle, where it's socialism at the very top and socialism at the bottom. Owing money to the United States, other countries. When you have the currency that is US dollar denominated, what ends up happening is the more money that you print, the people that are closest to the money printer benefit. Where if you're standing far away from the money printer, you're kind of screwed. That's what another government is when they don't print US dollars. They owe their money in US dollars. Why don't people switch to Bitcoin, meaning governments? Well, that is a tough position because you owe your money in US dollars. On a micro scale, Larry Chiang answers everything, answers all the questions, which is those are all macroeconomic. On a micro scale, this is incredibly good news because there's chaos, which is the focus here, which is what can we do during this chaotic time period? And that is, we can just get lucky because answering some bullet points right off the bat, we are incredibly lucky. Why? Because information has never been more accessible. Well, what we don't want to do is we don't want to wait to hit rock bottom where now we're desperate and we'll do anything to try to create some new results. And so the truth that Larry Chiang knows that other people are shy to share, which is this: doing sales and distribution work is the pinnacle of difficulty. It's so difficult to do, and it's so theoretical that you can easily get distracted from it. Here's another truth that is truer than true, which is I see very few people reading books. And when people, and also writing notes, and when people get away from paper books and handwriting onto paper, the human brain is wired to allow you a higher chance for success in brain wiring with how your pen hits paper. And when you violate those things by going too smartphony, you penalize yourself. And the studies have been shown, Tristan Harris, where your phone's literally making you retarded. And people, they just lean into it because their brain's hooked on dopamine, and they're like, well, I'll fix it. I'll fix my screen time issue in the future, or I will hang out in the future where my screen time is lower. And we don't want to throw putty at people that are trying to educate and answer. Oh my God, this is Larry Chiang answering all of life's problems in an 11-minute video. Because once pen hits paper, our advantage is ginormous. And here's another truth, which is not as well distributed, which is that work has its own momentum. Because the truth that we're in right now is it's everybody for themselves, kind of. It's everyone for themselves with true accountability. It is not necessarily all of us are just at each other's throats, where if you lose, I win. And if somebody else loses, we win. What is true and an advantage is how are we able to mentally be okay wiring our brain to make a 1% improvement per week, where we map out where we're going as if we're playing a video game called Dungeons and Dragons, which is done on paper, pen and paper. There's no screens, there's dice, there's your imagination, and there's graph paper where you're marching towards your destiny. And other people have become reliant on heat seeking missiles. This is just like the movie Top Gun. Why was Top Gun invented? Because fighter pilots had grown used to technology automatically winning the war. And then the dogfighting ability began to reduce dramatically. And so, what is Top Gun for entrepreneurship, or Top Gun for a school for doing street smart business? That's this channel where we are able to do street smart business things in order for us to gun better, in order for us to be a captain or quarterback of the infield. And I've got a special guest with me that also has the answer to so many things. Look, I got a special guest. You like my special guest? I'm going to interview Tom Brady. Hey, Brady, how do you feel about being picked up and treated like a little baby? Brady, there's 3 women. One of them's got a good personality and medium boobs. Another one's got a pair of yoga pants on, and she's got a sweater over her fat butt. SOFB. The third one has to-go food, and she's kind of chubby. Which one do you go say hi to? You just say hi to all of them? You dirty slut. You dirty, dirty, slutty puppy. What a good answer, buddy. I know. What a good answer. Let's say you are, let's say you are in a dog park and there's 13 puppies. Who do you go say hi to first? Yeah, the Australian Shepherd girl who comes say hi to you. Good job, buddy. You're really acing this interview. You are at home and it's dinner time and I'm not here. What do? How do you get a hold of me? Or do you just wait? Do you just wait for dinner time? Stop moving your ears. You're ready to eat dinner. You love that word, breakfast. My God. You're always hungry. You are not hungry. It's time for your walk, though. We are doing a video on Larry Chiang Explains Everything. Oh, here's a huge one. Here's a huge one. If you can't say hi to a dog, like, it's the easiest thing in the world to say hi to. It's literally man's best friend, and you can't say hi to a strange dog. Some people will hesitate. Hey, Brady, what do you do when people just stare at you and they don't ask to pet you? Doing the cold open on a dog, huge. What else, Brady? What else? This has been a really good interview. I'm learning a lot here. Hey, Brady, why don't you let dogs kiss you in the face? Why is it that it's okay to smell butt, but kissing you in the face isn't good? I'm going to be collecting more stuff on what they don't teach you in school on this channel. On Thursdays, I drop new episodes. On Sunday evenings at 10 o'clock, I teach a yoga class. What are you selling? What are you selling? This is what I'm selling. I'm selling $275,000 per shot of baby juice of sperm. And if you're interested in attending a workshop, I'm selling a sales class for $750,000. Oh, but I don't want to pay you $750,000 to learn how to sell from you. Perfect. We can just study buddy books. Those are free. And those videos on selling, those are free too, mother scratchers. Those are free too. So stop asking me what I'm going to sell you when I'm offering you cool stuff to buy. $275K for baby juice or $750K for my already open source class on sales and selling. It's been fun hanging out. Oh, here's something that I know that's an answer to everything. Is that whenever anybody's charging you something for a class or tuition, you can just use your library card and a Wi-Fi connection and realize that all the information has already been published. And anybody putting it behind a paywall, those people are idiots. And they're just trying to steal your money by getting you to be like, oh, maybe there's something magical behind that wall. There isn't. I've looked behind every paywall, and it's just the same stuff that's on the other side of the paywall. And let's say the class is $3,000. You should be able to read a couple of books and 30 articles and get return on investment before you go to the workshop. Berkshire Hathaway annual conference included. Stanford University's Board of Director Governance Conference included. So, Brady, do you have anything else before we wrap?